Welcome back. I'm Michael Bull, and this is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. This segment is brought to you by Apto, your brokerage in the crowd. In the cloud, not in the crowd. Please welcome my guest, Chad Curry. Chad is Managing Director with the Center for REALTOR Technology with the National Association of Realtors. And we're talking about technology in your space. And Chad, before we took the break, you started talking about lights. And lights are so important to me. I mean, sometimes I go into some of the rooms and I'm blinking and I feel uncomfortable. Then I come in my studio, or I am now, where you have these really nice LED lights and it just feels real comfortable. What's going on in the world of lighting in office space and commercial space?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was talking about a type of light that supports circadian rhythm. It's the right amount of Kelvin. So there's that bluish white light and that yellowish light. The Kelvins you need during the day are the bluish white light. That is, we're actually working with a company. They've given us some samples to test out called Lighting Science. And they actually have, you have your traditional T8 fluorescent bulbs. They have replacements for those that fit right into the sockets. And or they might need an electrical ballast. You can choose. They have different varieties. And they're not much more than the regular T8s. They're actually very cost competitive. And what's cool about it is they're using LEDs, so they're more efficient. And they could save you a ton of energy. And also you don't have to worry about the fluorescence and the gas and the degradation over time because they're LEDs. But they are a company that has worked directly with NASA. And the reason they worked with NASA is because you have the International Space Station up in space where every 90 minutes you have a sunrise and a sunset. So your circadian rhythm function isn't the best. So they've put these lights in to help with sleeping and with and daily work to help the astronauts recover. Now, to give you a practical application here on Earth, they're working with a hospital in Massachusetts where in the hallways where the staff are, they have the bluish light for productivity, and in the rooms, they have the yellower light for rest. So what they're seeing is on third shift, less accidents by the workers, and in the rooms, better recovery times from the patients. So we start to see the practical applications with these lights in a space like that. Now, you can also have these lights for the home, and you've also noticed on your phones, both the Android and iOS phones, there's an option at night to go into a night shift mode where it removes the blue light from your phones so you get better rest. So what you're seeing here is this move toward understanding how the things we produce are impacting us and how they make us feel for optimal performance. It's really impressive, actually.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and it's about time, and it's, I guess some of the timing is the cost coming down, the technology getting better, and how do you actually test those lights there?
Yeah, so we actually, in my office, we have some set up, and in Mark Leswing's office, our CTO, because we're in these spaces, all these confined spaces all day. And I'll tell you right now, what's pretty amazing is as you walk toward my office, the light from above looks like the sunlight extended into my office, and it's really beautiful. Now, because of the 5,000 kelvins, it does take a little bit of getting used to, but once you do, people do say they feel better and they feel like they're more focused. And we've tested out, and Mark actually is really appreciative of the light. He's saying that he wants to continue it. And we're looking at actually retrofitting this whole building by the end of November, maybe, with these lights.
So
the building engineers are.
It takes some getting used to because it's what?
That the whiteness. It's different. Yeah. Now, when you're in a fluorescent room like this one, you see a yellower tint to the light because they degrade over time. So this is a whiter light, that's brighter. So you do get used when people get used to it. It's like a week of being under that light. It's such a change, such a transition that they report feeling better after they've been in it for just a little bit.
That's fantastic. Now let's talk about sensing people, because now, like in my parking deck at our building here, when I go into the deck, it starts turning on the lights, knowing that I'm walking through there. So what's going on in that technology in the space?
Yeah, so there are a number of things happening. There's a company, I'll point to one company that's an example of it, called Density.io. They have sensors that go above doors that don't identify, they don't know who the people are, but they know that people are coming in. And when people come in, what they are doing is counting the number of people coming through. So, so they would know that there are 6 people in a room. So that information can be displayed. So if you wanted to have a conference in the conference room, you would schedule it, but you know there are 2 people in there. Somebody's in there, and be able to talk to them about having that space. But also as amenities for condos, you would know how many people are in a gym or in a retail space, know how many people you have. Start to build maps over time to know what your hourly occupation rates are, your minute-by-minute occupation rates, what type of sales are driving that kind of thing. So it's pretty exciting. But also, like you're talking about, once again, you're pointing to an energy management solution where the lights only light up brighter when you're nearby, right? And that's actually happening on city scale as well. There's a company called Tvilight, T-V-I-L-I-G-H-T, that's making streetlights that do the exact same thing to cut down on light pollution at night and also use more effective light for that. So the occupant, the building will react to you based on location. So let's say there's no one in the conference room all day. Heating and cooling can be used somewhere else rather than that room, right? Or the system knows that there's going to be people in a room based on your calendars. In the next 20 minutes, it starts to do heating and cooling based on your needs.
And how much of this technology is being used, and what do you think the trends will be for the use of it?
Yeah, this is actually, the presence detection is something that's being used in a lot of retail spaces now. There's numbers of ways to do it. There are actually mats that you can walk on. There's a company called Scanalytics that makes mats that you walk on, how many people are walking and where they're spending most of their time. So it's really coming to the fore right now, especially in retail. But I think in properties, for property management purposes, this could be really huge. But also in warehousing too, you could tell where people are throughout the day and they're spending in certain parts of the building. So you could determine how you want to make your space, how you want to build it out for the future.
Right. And let's talk about counting cars. Right. So that's something else that can help in our space and around our space, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a couple of companies we're looking at, and we're actually building our own software to do people counting and vehicle counting. We know we've been monitoring traffic out in front of our building on Michigan Avenue, and we know up to the minute how many cars and people are passing our space minute by minute. And we know that on a daily basis we have anywhere between 40 and 46,000 cars pass by our building, and we have between 40 and 60,000 people on a daily basis go by our building. Wow. Now we have a space that's a retail space, and we recently leased it. I think that the data we were able to provide the building was helpful in that leasing. So I think what that's going to help with in the future is pricing spaces, but also it's going to help with urban planning and designing space. And mapping that with data from weather, local weather, you can start to see trends and anticipate what you need to build for the future.
Right, and you also know what time of day that traffic was heavy and that sort of thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the cool thing.
Yeah, so we're going to have to take a short break. We're going to be right back with Chad Curry. We'll find out more about the technology in your space. And maybe it's there today, but if it's not there today, it will be there soon. And hopefully we'll all be more productive, happier, and healthier. Stay with us. I'm Michael Bull. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. Hey there, thanks for checking out the Commercial Real Estate Show. Don't miss a video of special interest to you. Be sure to subscribe below. And if you appreciate the videos, be sure and thank our sponsors. There's a link to more information about them in the description. For more videos, podcasts, and articles, check out CREshow.com.